Welcome back to the Cardonomics YouTube channel. So today I wanted to discuss an article I'd done back in May on Instagram. This was before I started YouTube. So just basically done some articles on Instagram to get some content out there and share my ideas just because at the time didn't have anything set up. I basically got back from Europe, didn't have a house, looked for a house, found a house. Now I'm set up so I can do this stuff. But it was a bit difficult before because I was, not settled anywhere. But now I am. I'm giving this a crack. So I'd like to explain the thought process behind what I did and hopefully share a little bit, a little more bit about, why I did it and how I come up with the idea. So, let's get straight into that. Okay, so basically, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see articles that I make with front covers such as this. This is the article I was talking about I made back in May called The Sealed Experiment, Fun with Numbers. Yeah, so basically I just like to put a bit of time and effort because one, I enjoy creating things like this. And two, I think it just grabs some attention. It's something different, it's colourful, it's playful. So I like the fact that, something can grab someone's attention when they see it, so they stop. This looks interesting, and then maybe I might read it, which is the intention behind it. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but at least you know the intention. And again, like this channel's, all about just having a bit of fun and, hopefully learning something along the way. So yeah, we'll get into the next page, and I'll just tell you a little bit about what I've done here. So yeah, I can just read it out to you guys. So basically, the experiment goes a bit like this. So I was thinking to myself the other day if I can create a formula to indicate whether a sealed Pokemon booster box's cost was in line with its value over time. So you'll notice the three contributing factors I just named then, and we'll go over that once we go further into this. So this is just a fun experiment I've done, and I thought I would share it with everyone so we can have some fun with numbers and see if we can find anything useful in the data. The formula is simple and can be applied to any era of booster boxes to come up with the result that relates to the graph that I made, which is below. So you will see that, from number 1 to low opportunity all the way up to 17 plus, which is your high opportunity, they're the numbers you usually get when you use this formula, no matter how far back you go, which is interesting. So firstly, the formula is V, which is value, times T, which is time, divided by C, which is cost. And in most cases, you'll end up with a number between 1 and 17. So I use Pokedata.io to determine the value of the set as they have the most data currently, which will increase the accuracy of this formula. So basically, the more data we have, which, in today's sort of all the sites that are popping up and collecting sales data, is very, very good for stuff like this. The more data we've got, the better. So it gives us more information to make more accurate, I wouldn't call it a prediction, but just give us better data to work with. So, but like I was saying before, a high score indicates that the cost of a booster box is less than what it should be compared to the set's current value and vice versa. The time factor is an interesting one, and it seems to be a very important metric with sealed Pokemon booster boxes. I'll show you an example on the next page, and then we can use this formula to go over each booster box from an error to see what we find. So over the next page, I've just got an example here, and I'll basically show you the formula in action, how it works, and then how we get the results. So here we basically got V is the set value, which is simply how much the set would cost if I bought all the cards needed to complete the set. So in simple terms, if I want to complete a master set of Chilling Reign, what is the cost of each card, and that makes up the value of the current set. So Chilling Reign will be used for this example, and the current set value is 2,271 Aussie dollars. Yeah, just for everyone out there, I'm from Australia. I use Australian dollars when I talk, so just be mindful of that when looking at these values. So T is the time the set has been out for, from release until now. I use years to get the number needed to multiply with value. For example, if Chilling Reign release was in June 2021 and we are now in August 2024, the time since release is 3 years and 2 months. So to get the exact number we need for the formula, so we use the following 2, which is the 2 months, divided by 12 equals 0.1666, and we can round that off. So with that number, we can plus the amount of years left over, which is 3. So the 3.16 makes up the time since Chilling Reign release until today's day. So now we can multiply those two numbers together. So we got 2,271, which is the current set value, times 3.16, which is the time that's been since release, and we get the number 7,176, and you can round this off to to the nearest digit. So now we get to costs, which is the C. So C is the average cost to buy the booster box currently. We use the last 3 or 5 years sold listings to get an average cost, and then use this number to divide the total of V times T. Alternatively, you can use the data on PokeData.io to make the process quicker if the information is available. The average cost of Chilling Reign is $336 as of today. So the whole formula in action here, you'll get the value, which is 2,271, multiply that by the time it's been out since release, which is 3.16 years. That gets us the 7,176 figure. We then divide that by the cost of the booster box, which is $336 as of today. And that gives us a figure of 17.75. So on the next page, I'll show you that scale that I created again. And this really puts Chilling Reign in a high value or high opportunity area. So as you will see here on this page, I've done all the Sword and Shield sets. And basically, we can go to Chilling Reign again. This is the scale of where the opportunity may lie within this booster box using this formula. Chilling Reign actually scores the highest, so that tells me that, for the current cost of all these booster boxes of Sword and Shield, this has currently the best opportunity when you compare the current value and how long it's been out for. And this data gets more interesting as the eras get older, and you'll start to see where the opportunity really is and how long it takes for that opportunity to sort of disappear. And you get the anomalies here and there, like some sets stay too cheap for too long, and this formula actually will show you that. So we'll quickly go through them. Like Sword and Shield, really overshot. I think, the value, most base sets are usually, pretty weak. This one's actually pretty good compared to others in other eras. Basically gives us a score of 5.3 using the formula, which puts us on the lower opportunity end. So that's something I probably wouldn't consider right now. It's already done its dash. If you bought this, on release for retail, in Australia, say it's $180. You've done pretty well if you hold it till now. But if I want to buy Sword and Shield now at $448, probably not a good idea. And I think that's what's good about this formula. It can give us a good compass to where a booster box is currently at. And should we be investing in that booster box at this current point in time, which is a question a lot of people like to ask. So this is something anyone can do at home. Like I said, it's a bit of fun, but I really truly believe that this formula does work and it has some, accuracy to it. So yeah, very useful tool. So we'll keep going. Rebel Clash. Similar Vader Sword and Shield, $589 currently. It's been on over 4 years since release. The current cost of a booster box is $365. Puts that at a 7.7. We'll look at the scale here. If you can see the orange to the yellow, that is where you'll find the average. That's probably telling us that that booster box is where it should be at this current point in time. So that's not a bad thing if it scores there. It just says that it's in line where it should be. So that's not a bad thing. Across the Darkness Ablaze, which is probably the weakest set of Sword and Shield. Value $262, very weak. It's been out for 4 years. The current cost of a booster box, $225, puts us at a 4.65. which is on the low opportunity. Again, very, very accurate in my opinion. Darkness Ablaze is probably the weakest set of Sword and Shield, and it does not surprise me at all that it scored so low. Onto Vivid Voltage, again, similar to the first two sets, $493. Current cost of $230 gets an 8.9. 8.9 is putting us in that where it should be range. Fair enough. I think that's very, very fair to say. Moving on to battle styles, now we started getting the alt arts here. Things started to get spicy. We got the Tyranitar V alt art, stunning card. Just pumped up the value here. Like, this has made the difference in Sword and Shield, and you can see as the values go up what impact those cards have. So value $862, which is, not many people think much of battle styles, but it is up there, and we'll see with other eras how weak they are in terms of value and how much the booster box costs. So very, very, very good data to look at. So let's go. Cost of a booster box, $263, currently gives us a score of 11.19. So this puts us on the upper end of average. Again, not a huge opportunity, but still it's, as more time goes on, if the price stays the same, that number's going to go up just because that time that you multiply is going up. So even if the value stays the same, that number's going to get higher and that scale is going to go up. So that's going to tell us that, okay, Battle Styles is getting into the high opportunity because it's been out, for longer, and, the price of the box hasn't moved. Maybe we should be looking at it. So that's interesting. Off the Chilling Reign, which is the example, we'll go over it again. $2,271 currently to complete the set. 3.16 time it's been out gives us the total of 7176. Current cost of a booster box $336, scores 17.75. That puts us right on the top of high opportunity. Again, that's telling me that Chilling Reign is currently the best opportunity in Sword and Shield going off this data, which I think, again, very undervalued set right now. A lot of value in that set. And again, as I show you other sets, you'll see what I mean by that value equating to this booster box being undervalued. But again, let's move on. Evolving Skies. Of course, obviously the best set of Sword and Shield. The value tells the story. $5,335 currently to complete the set. So got been out for 3 years on the dot. Gives us a number of 16,005. Currently costs $995. Gives us a score of 16. So again, score is very high. People might think that it's expensive now, but this tells me Evolving Skies has still a lot more room to grow, and it could move very soon. Again, this set is the best set of Sword and Shield, and arguably one of the best sets of the modern time. So, yeah, definitely still in that high opportunity range, and I do honestly believe it is. $1,000 today is going to seem very cheap in a few years, in my opinion. So definitely one to put on your radar right now, even though it's it's a lot more than what it was when it came out. Still opportunity. So next we got Fusion Strike, valued $1,437 currently. That gives us a score, once we do the maths, 11.2. So yeah, I think Fusion Strike after the last pump it is where it needs to be. I don't think there's too much opportunity right now, but again, over time that'll change. We'll just have to keep monitoring the numbers, and this is something you can keep playing around with, when we have significant moves in price and value. So, yeah, something to look out for. Again, Fusion Strike, very good set. It was cheap for a very long time. No one was thinking about hoarding Fusion Strike, or not many people did, because what happened with the factory with the hits getting stolen. Same with Evolving Skies, all that drama got labeled as toxic, and now look at it. I remember picking up boxes in my Facebook group I shared that they were going to be on sale on Black Friday, $120. A few of us picked them up, and now look, you tripled your money. That was only last November. So crazy, crazy opportunity here. Moving on to Brilliant Stars. Current value, $1,121. Once doing all this maths, gives us a total of 10.2. And again, I think that's perfect. So 10's basically in the middle of the scale. That's telling me that that is exactly where it needs to be right now. $273 a box if you can find them in Australia. They're a bit more expensive here. We didn't really get a reprint here. So the price on PokeData kind of reflects the US market, not really the Oz market, but still this data works very well. It's what's what it's given us that's important, and where we find it on the chart. So yeah, I think Brilliant Star is exactly where it needs to be right now. So probably not the best opportunity right now. Sorry about that zooming in, but yeah, I think down the line it's still going to do very well. And if you bought it early, obviously you're doing well. On to Astral Radiance now. Current value $1,186. Been out for just over 2 years. Current cost $255 gives us a 10.4. So we're starting to see a pattern here. All the ones sort of towards the end, they've gone up recently. They've had their time to shine. I think they just need to cool off right now. The opportunity was a few months ago before that did go up. This could have been a very different story and would have been more in the high opportunity range. Just because the cost of the box wasn't quite where it is at today. So yeah, look, definitely all great sets, but need some time to marinate before we see even more further gains. On to Lost Origin, $1,363, just under 2 years it's been out. Current cost 302 a box puts us in 8.8. And again, same thing. I think Lost Origin overshot. It's slowly come back down again. It's where it should be. It's a great set. It's going to age well, but currently, I think it's where it needs to be. Silver Tempest, current value $936, just under 2 years again in the market. Currently around $250. Scores a 6.47. More towards low opportunity, and look, it is one of the weaker alt art sets, but I still think that it is going to perform well. Like that Lugia old art's a stunning card. There's so many good cards in the set. I just don't think it's been in the market long enough to realise, and that'll happen over time. So, look, all these sets are still an opportunity when you think about long term, but there might be just with Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies being up that high end. According to this data, that's probably where I'd rather put my money right now. Rather than these sets, and again that could change. We just got to keep monitoring this data, and yeah, we'll go over to the next one, Sun and Moon. So Sun and Moon, very interesting era, one of my favorites. We can go over the base set now. $623 currently. It's been out, 7.5 years now, so a long time ago. Current cost $432, gives us a 10.81. So that's telling me where it should be. Guardians Rising, same thing, $827, cost $626, and we can see these prices are starting to increase now, but just because of the time factor, the values are very low in comparison to what we were just going over in Sword and Shield, but yet the cost of the box is up, but the score still remains, where it should be. So that's telling us Guardians Rising is where it should be. So very interesting data. Moving on to Burning Shadows, which scored the highest, surprisingly to me, but look, that's the data. 15.9, current value of 14.56, heavily influenced by the Charizard chase. That's most of the value in this set. Currently $639, and that's telling us that it's in high opportunity, so that's one to look out for right now. Crimson Invasion, probably the weakest set of Sun and Moon, $431. Current cost $317. And again, I think that's exactly where it should be right now. Ultra Prism, another one that I think's under the radar, $2,125 to complete the set. Current cost of $1,022 puts us in 13.5. So that's telling us that there is some opportunity here, and I think the longer that time goes by, this needs to either go up, or again, that's just going to keep getting higher and higher into that opportunity range, and look, something's got to give. So there's only so much time that can go by before people realise, like, one, they're very hard to find, and two, it's a great set, plenty of value. So one to keep on your radar as well. Moving on to Forbidden Light, $1,018, bit of a weaker set in Sun and Moon. Current cost just under $700, giving it a 9.11, which is again telling us where Forbidden Light should be that cost. So moving on to Celestial Storm. Current value $1,512. Current cost $1,119, giving us an 8.1. Again, Celestial Storm probably exactly where it should be. Expensive box now, so no surprises there to me. Lost Thunder, current value $1,745. Current cost $952, bringing us up to around that 10.5 range. It's middle of the range. Probably Lost Thunder, is exactly where it needs to be again. So yeah, probably best to park your money elsewhere if you're looking at Sun and Moon currently. Could change anytime, so we just got to keep an eye on this data. Team Up, the most expensive set, and we see why. Compare it to Evolving Skies, value-wise, it's just under actually. And again, this is why you need to take note of these values. Team Up's $3,600 now. Crazy, crazy numbers for Team Up. And again, that cost is just purely lifted up from the value and time that's gone by. People have realised, Jesus Christ, like there's so much value in this set. The cards are expensive. Hence people are willing to pay more for that box. And that puts that score, into a 7, which is low opportunity, and that's again not surprising because it's so expensive now. So again, I think this formula is working very well, and we'll keep going. Unbroken Bonds, value $2,292. Current cost $978, puts us at a 12.3. Again, getting into that light green area, so that's one to keep an eye on. If the cost of that box stays the same, and a year or two go by, like that's going to go in high opportunity. One to keep on your radar. The next two of my favourite sets, completed in the Sun and Moon era. Unified Minds to start off. $2,512. Current cost $1,053. That gives us almost a 12. So 11.9. Again, putting us in that light green zone there where, opportunity's coming if that cost stays there. And the fact that this isn't high is because of the time. It's one of the last sets to come out in Sun and Moon. So time is a very important factor when we're looking at Pokemon sealed booster boxes. And this information, this data explains that. It tells us that time, when it goes by with Pokemon sealed, it makes the value, the cost of the box increase once people realize these things are getting older, they're getting more scarce, they're hard to get, the demand's still there. Pokemon's not going away, so very interesting data to keep an eye on. Cosmic Eclipse, probably my favorite set. I love Cosmic Eclipse. Current value $3,732. A lot of value in this set. It's spread out amongst a lot of cards, so very fun to open. Current cost $1,350. This scores a 13. Again, getting into that light green zone. I think this is one of the best opportunities currently in Sun and Moon. I've got a couple of cases I put away. I love the set. I think over time this is going to perform extremely well. So still a great opportunity in Sun and Moon, I think. Let's move on. I'll get through these a bit quicker, because I want to point out one thing here. XY, look, I wasn't personally a fan of this era. There was a couple of good sets, you can say, not great. Evolutions was that nostalgia hit. I still don't think it was a great set. People still just love it because to have that feeling of pulling base set cards. But again, Flashfire even, like that's so expensive now. But look at the value. Like we just went over some sets from Sword and Shield that have higher value that currently cost a couple $100. This is a $4,000 booster box. Just shows you how effective time is. So look, I'm not going to run through them like I was before because this video is going to get kind of long. But again, you can just see for yourself the cost of these boxes is very expensive. XY base, 2,300. Flashfire, $4,000. Furious Fist, 1,700. Like Roaring Skies getting close to $1,000. That was, reprinted to the hills. Like everyone was saying how overprinted it was. It's never going to go up. Same with Evolutions. People call me crazy for buying them at $180 a box. It's never going to go up. you're crazy, but look what happened, you know, like, and this is why this data is important. Even Steam Siege, like, come on, it's still $259 in value for Steam Siege. It's still going to set you back almost $600 today. Like, this is Pokemon. You just got to understand, like, this is the data that's driving these prices. So very, very important, and that's why I made this. And I wanted to create a formula, you know, one that works. It's going to be effective, and it's going to help whoever's out there, especially new people to the hobby, you know, get an idea of what goes on and why these prices are so crazy as more time goes by. So look, if you want to go look at this data, we'll go through black and white quickly. You know, same thing. And I want to point out too, you know, the more time that goes by, the less opportunity there is. You can see all the low scores now coming up. You know, these things are expensive as hell. They've already gone up. And even if it scores a low score, it doesn't mean that these won't keep going up. It just means that they're going to continue to slowly creep up. You know, you're going to get a bit of a return on your money, but the risk is too high for me. And that's one thing I like to look at. You know, when you're spending 5 grand on a booster box, you know, if we go through a bad time, that could come down. You know, when you're spending $150, $200 on a booster box, like, how much can it go down? It can't really go down. You're very safe. The risk is low. That's what I like to concentrate on. But nevertheless, some people like certain sets. They want to have that thing that no one else or not many people have. So you do you. But this data's interesting to go over. Again, you can go check it out on my Instagram anytime. The data's there. The one on my Insta is probably from, you know, May when I created it. The numbers were a bit different. So again, you can look at the changes from that compared to now. And I don't believe that I added black and white and XY to that. So this is a bit of a bonus. So yeah, nah, very interesting data. I might leave it there. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. It's something a bit different, and you know what I want to emphasize on this channel is, you know, it's again, I do this for fun, and I like, you know, expressing my opinions and my thoughts, and having the platform to do that, to do so, and share it with you guys. You know, to me is incredible. It's yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do. Again, I'm not an expert at this. I've never done YouTube, but I'm giving it a go. Hope you guys, you know, enjoy this type of content, and I'm more than happy to do more. So let me know if you do. Comment. Let me know your opinion on this. Are you going to use it? You know, do you think that it's effective from what you've seen today? Yeah, just let me know whatever your thoughts are in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys at the next one. Appreciate you watching, and have a good day.